In this video, we're going to look at how we can reduce operating costs with MAINTelligence by measuring the reliability of replacement parts. And then once you know that, you can use the parts that perform the best. So I've set up just a really simple example facility that I called mean running time between breakdown, because that's what we're going to measure. And I've set up 3 equipment. ECS1, equipment mean running time between breakdown, and equipment mean time between breakdown. So the 2 that we're going to measure mean running time between breakdown have a point that I've called meter 1 and meter 2, and they're using a reading type called meter value. If we go to the data tab, you can see my dummy readings in there. And as I've entered those dummy readings, I've created work orders both at the component level, there's 1, and the equipment level, there's 3, 4. And if I go to that work order, one of these work orders in the work order manager, by double clicking on this box, there it is, I can see that I've attach actual parts used in the parts tab. So here I've added 10 of this part number 3. So if we go back to the plant manager, one more thing that we need to do to complete this setup is attach this equipment, get it to look at this meter. So to do that, we check the meter box, and that brings up the meter tab. You can give it any name you want, and then to attach it to a point, you double click on this ellipse, or single click on this ellipsis, and then choose meter 1, and then choose the parameter, which is going to be the current reading. So now it's looking at the meter, and now we're going to analyze the data to see when these parts were used, how many running hours the piece of equipment had. So to open my query, I'm going to go File, Open Query, and here's my query right there. So this is a SQL query, and I'm going to select these 3 columns, work order target, meter reading, and part ID. Those are the important ones. These are more information from 3 tables which are joined together. And when I run that, you can see that this equipment, this work order target, had meter readings of 111 hours, 222 hours, and 444 hours, and each of those work orders used part 1. So based on that, I think you can easily calculate the mean running time between breakdown for part 1. And if we had more data about part 3, we could calculate a similar number for that, and then compare it and see how part 1 and part 3 can compare. For this last equipment, mean time between breakdown, there was no meter, so the meter reading says 0, but we do have work order completion date and a part number. So we could use a similar equation to calculate mean time between breakdown for that. So that's about all I have to say for this topic: reducing operating costs with MAINTelligence, measuring reliability of replacement parts, or mean running time between breakdown.